why ERISA Life, an AD&D carrier, plans explanation of the medical, scientific, or clinical judgment that they use to deny a life claim or an AD&D claim is often bull, and what you have to do about it. Now, you have the burden to prove as the beneficiary or as a policyholder seeking dismemberment benefits that the death or dismemberment was an accident and not for any reason excluded under the policy. Under the ERISA regulations, they have to give you an explanation as to how they arrived at this denial, including an explanation of any medical, scientific, or clinical judgment that they used and how it applied to the terms of the policy or plan to establish, in quotes, that the cause of death or the dismemberment was due to the impact of drugs or alcohol. Now, that disclosure requirement is really important because ultimately, even if you can prove that the death was accidental, many carriers or plans will take it a step further and say, look, even though the death may be accidental, the death was excluded by the terms of the policy, or the dismemberment was excluded by the terms of the policy. And what are those? Well, injury was sustained as a result of being legally intoxicated. The injury was sustained while operating a motor vehicle while legally intoxicated. The injury was sustained while voluntarily taking drugs, which the federal law prohibits without a prescription. That you or the decedent didn't take the drugs or medication as prescribed. And of course, you can realize that blood alcohol and toxicology reports will often form the basis of this denial. They're going to have toxicologists review the medical records and the toxicology reports to reach a conclusion that the death, even if it was accidental, was due to intoxication or the use of unprescribed drugs. Now, what I find is that they often fail to explain what their toxicologists reviewed, who the carrier consulted, what documentation they gave to the consultants, including the toxicologists. And without that information, you really cannot write a meaningful appeal letter if you're going to appeal, or file a lawsuit, which is quite frankly more likely. So it's really important that as part of any appeal that you, and preferably your lawyer, are requesting this information so you know what it is you need to attack, you know what evidence you need to develop, and you can formulate both the legal and medical reasons to file a winning appeal and hopefully a winning lawsuit. If you have any questions about your rights or as a beneficiary, your rights to these benefits, call us today at 727-894-3188 for a complimentary consultation. We can help you get the benefits that your loved one wanted you to have or that you're entitled to as a result of accidental dismemberment. That's what we're here for. 727-894-3188. 727-894-3188.